What's going on, guys? Plastic Beach X3 back here with another One Piece video, and this time we're going to be commentating over the round one of the Seville regionals in Spain that is happening yesterday, September 27th, and then today, the day of recording this video, September 28th, it will be Top Cut, but we're going to commentate first over the the Swiss rounds that happened yesterday. Round one is going to be Kalgara on the left, Bonney on the right. And let's just get into it. So this is obviously OP12 format at post Bondi Card Fest in North America in Dallas. This occurred. The Kalgara player is going to play their upper yard, search top 5 for a Skypea, I believe, type monster. I know that in the Kalgara deck there's a lot of like different attributes that you could be adding, but they're going to add the Ohm, classic Skypea card, and then going to go to the Bonney's turn. Bonney's going to play the Bonney, tap to search, look at top 5 for a Supernova, fumble the cards a little bit. But I wanted to say that I have been recording videos. I got back from Card Fest in Dallas and didn't do too well myself, but my buddy got second place, which is disgusting, disgustingly awesome. But I, have been just like trying to catch up with work and everything since I took off a few days to go. I did record an Ace video. Unfortunately, forgot to hit the record video button, so I'm gonna have to re-record that video playing OP13 Ace. But our Kalgara player is going to play the 3-drop searcher event, going to search up the new Kalgara and the Mont Blanc Norland. Can't remember exactly what those cards do, or at least the Kalgara. So let's see if I can pull it up on my other monitor here. But then they're going to swing into the Bonney. It's going to kill the Bonney searcher. The 6-drop Kalgara or 5-drop 6K Kalgara, your turn when a card is removed from you or your opponent's life cards, you draw a card, and you cannot draw cards using your own effects this turn. So obviously you combo that with your leader ability. And then the Mont Blanc Norland lets you gain a life if you have a Kalgara on the field. But the Bonney player is going to search with the Bonney, play the Kojiro blocker. Kalgara is going to swing 6 into the Bonney, deciding if they want to use their leader ability here. They are going to play out that Kalgara, take a life. And then Kalgara ability lets them draw a card. Because they have 5 Dawn, they can play out a 5-drop, and then they're probably going to tap to play the Ohm Holy combo. Going to play Ohm. Look at top 5 for a Holy. Take the Holy. Pass the turn. Not looking great for the Bonney player. The best they can probably do here is like set up a Cavendish. If they can, they're going to swing 5 at life. Going to get a 1K Kalgara. Going to play Bonney with no ability, pass the turn, holding up a Dawn. Yeah, you have to do that sometimes, unfortunately, especially if you don't have the Cavendish. Kalgara is going to put a Dawn under leader, swing 6 at life. I'm going to use the ability, take a life, play I'm not sure what's happening here. Oh yeah, so they have to play the card first, playing out the 6-drop Kalgara, and then they can draw off their Kalgara 6-drop. Their sorry, Kalgara 5-drop. And then Kalgara 5-drop will let them draw a card because they took a life. Not exactly sure what's happening here. I guess just trying to get the timing of everything right. I mean, it works how he wants it to work. Judge determining if he took a life too early or something. Yeah, so he gets to proc the Kalgara. Now it's Bonney's priority to use their leader ability. Gonna tap the 5-drop Kalgara. And deciding what to do with the 6 here. Going to take this life. And now they can probably gonna end up playing this Mont Blanc Norland if I have to guess after swinging out with the Ohm Holy. You definitely don't want to play it before you swing with the Ohm Holy because your Ohm is at plus 1000 right now because you're at 2 or less life. Gonna swing 5 with the Ohm, or sorry, the Holy. Block 6. Interesting block there. Oh, I guess they do have the Kojiro. If they do decide to put some Dawn under the Ohm and try and swing into the Bonney, they just block with the Kojiro, so I guess fair enough. And they're obviously representing the Mont Blanc Norland. And gonna hold up a Dawn as well for their 1-drop event, I guess. So you're gonna play the Mont Blanc. They control a Kalgara, so they're going to gain a life. And pass the turn. The 1000 from Ohm goes away because they're back at 3 life. Kalgara's board looking obviously disgusting here, and Bonney's only on 8 Dawn. So they're going to swing 5 into the Ohm. Fair enough. Get a 1k counter. Play Cavendish. Must have top decked that Cavendish or something. God, he's shaking like a leaf. And then going to restand 2 Dawn. Has 5 left over on their 8 Dawn turn, of course. Could play another Bonney. It would be good. I could see it in their hand here. Yeah, they're going to play it. They have 8 rested cards, so they're going to draw 2, trash 1, and then restand a Dawn. Giving up the Hody Jones brick. Restanding the Dawn. And the passing turn without swinging in with the Bonney. Interesting. I mean, personally, I probably would swing with it. Just to get that extra card out of hand. Swing into the Ohm. But I understand if you don't want them to start swinging into your board. I mean, they do have a completely full board, so they're just gonna... I mean, if I'm the Kalgara, not knowing exactly what's in the hand, I'm just gonna swing out hugely into life. Maybe replace whatever they tap with the leader ability. Gonna go 8 at life here. Good number to swing with the 6k blockers on the field. Bonney's gonna tap the Mont Blanc Norland. And end up taking that 8. Hoping that, maybe they'll have Captain Kidd for the next turn. Captain Kidd does kind of wall Kalgara, but you still are in a tough spot. You do have 3 blockers on the field. So hopefully they can live this turn and then set up their Captain Kidd or something. Just going to go 6 with the Kalgara. It's going to get a 2k Toshigi. And then another 6, just swinging bare bones numbers with those blockers. On the field, on the opponent's side, going to get another 2k counter out of hand most likely here. But if the opponent really wants to establish Kidd next turn, maybe they think about taking this one. Going to block 1k though. Give up a carrot. Carrot, very strong card in the matchup. Must have just drew it too late, unfortunately. Gonna go 6 at life with the Ohm. Gonna take that 6. And then they still have their leader ability here if they want to use it. If they were going to use leader ability, they probably could have waited on the Ohm swing. But also, who knows if they're even going to actually use their leader ability this late in the game. They do get a free draw off the Kalgara if they do. So they're just going to swing 6, decide not to use leader ability, holding up 6 for probably another Mont Blanc Norland or a 5-drop Wiper or something, and then hold up a Dawn for the counter event. They're going to block 1k once again. Tap 6 for Kuma. Kuma ability can discard a card. Discarding the 5-drop Wiper, gaining a life, go up to 4. And from this point, it just looks not great for the Bonney. But our opponent doesn't have any Dawn standing. They only have so many cards in hand. It looks like 4. So maybe we can start directing cards into board, but also you'd have to tap your blockers to do so. And okay, never mind. Our opponent has 7 cards in hand. Not great. So it looks like they're just going to slam this 10-drop Dofi. Freeze the Mont Blanc, the Kalgara, and the Kalgara characters on field. Probably going to take a 6 into this Ohm. Restand the 2 Dawn. And then another 6 will be in order after this. Get a 2k Wiper out of hand. Another 6 into the Ohm. Get a 2k Zeus out of hand. And pass the turn. Kalgara's going to have 2 swings next turn. Well, I guess they're debating whether they should swing with the Bonney. It's kind of safe here because, once again, they'll only have 2 swings. 1 swing if you do end up clearing the Ohm. Kind of taps it. I think you swing with at least one of them. Our opponent has like 5 cards in hand, and like unless we do something to try and control the advantage, we're just going to end up losing this game as the Bonney player. You definitely swing with the Bonney, in my opinion, because once again they're gonna have 3 or 2 attacks next turn if they do end up countering this, and you have your leader ability and a life. So like at the very minimum, you're not dying unless they play like a rush character. Which the only rush character I know of in the Kalgara strategy is like Rush Ace, and then I highly doubt they even play that card anymore. So the 6 is gonna go through, killing the Ohm, pass a turn. Gonna play the 3-drop Searcher event. Search top 5 for 2 of the Shandoran Warriors. Or a Mont Blanc Norland. Of course, I'm going to grab, I believe that is the 4-drop 2k Wiper, but it could very well be the 4-drop 1k Wiper. And then a Mont Blanc Norland. Or sorry, I think there's a 4-drop 2k and a 5-drop no K, so maybe, I don't remember. But regardless, a 4-drop Wiper in the hand. Here you could probably safely just swing with your leader into the Cavendish or something. But they're not. They're going to swing with their Kuma and not use the leader ability this turn. 7, I guess, at life, and they're going to block with the Koshiro, finally proccing that ability to get the value out of that card that they played so early in the game. And then the Kalgara is just going to play another Mont Blanc Norland. They control Kalgara on the field, so they're going to gain a life. Go back up to 5, how they started this game. Pretty disgusting. But another 10-drop Dofi could help out quite a bit here. If Bonney has it. Not impossible for Bonney to come back from this advantage. Kalgara does have 2 Dons standing notably. Gonna start 10 into the Mont Blanc Norland, 10 to 6. Let it go. Does have another 10 drop, so I think you definitely just slam that. I'd argue freeze the leader, Kuma, and the 8K Kalgara. And then direct your attacks into the 6K Kalgara. Okay, but he's not going to do that. He's just going to freeze the characters on board. Okay, yep. See, that's what I would do there. Just because, like, what's his incentive? Once you play, what's his the Kalgara's incentive to keep that Kalgara around and give you counter? If you just freeze it, he's just going to let it die and then swing with his leader next turn, and maybe even proc his leader abilities. So he's just going to go 6/6 into the Kalgara. He's going to save it. So now, once again, the opponent only has 1 swing. So I, once again, would have considered swinging with the Bonney blocker here. Because our opponent is only going to have 1 swing with our Dawn ability on the Bonney leader. Get an extra card out of hand to try and, you know, starve the opponent in this late game. You got to do something. So even if they do Zeus you, kill your last standing Bonney, you could still take the life, tap the other card, and then, like, unless they have a rush, you're never dead. And even if they do have a rush, you probably have counter. Kalgara is going to tap 1 for another upper yard, search top 5 for a Sky Island. So they have a few choices here. They end up going to take the 1-drop event that's plus 3,000. So Kalgara building up for the late game here. They're at 5 life. They have infinite counter in hand. Now it's just a matter of whether they can keep their board presence. Unless Bonnie's just going to do Bonnie things and clear board. Gonna swing 8. Not sure what into. Probably life. And going to tap. Bonnie's going to tap that Mont Blanc Norm with leader ability and give up the blocker so they don't go down to 0. And they're going to play another Kuma, discard another card, discarding the Nakakabura Arrow. I haven't seen that card in a minute. To go up to 6 life now. Not the best spot for Bonney once again, but we do have Cavendish, 2 10 drops, and a blocker on the field going into 10 Dawn. So we could make it work. Just depends on what kind of top end that we're going to be able to draw into. Unfortunately, with the Bonney strategy, not a ton of searchers for your top end. That's why I was actually considering going into Nats, playing the We Are event, the 2-drop event, to search out like your Hody Jones, your 10 drops, your 9-drop Shanks, your 8-drop Mihawks, because otherwise you're just like hoping to draw those cards rather than searching them out in the matchups you need them. Unfortunately, the card was just a little too bricky. Our opponent, or we're gonna go 11 into looks like the 8K, because then we're just going to give up a 4K a plus 4K on the I forget what that card is. El Thor. It's right on the screen. Gonna play El Thor to go plus 4. And then with the remaining Dawn, gonna play the Captain Kid, play no blocker off the Captain Kid. Could have definitely played the Captain Kid first and not played into the El Thor. Maybe he was just thinking of the plus 3 because he hadn't revealed an El Thor, so he was trying to play around that. but unfortunately he got punished by the L-Thor, swinging 11. And he has one extra Dawn that he shouldn't have. That's fine. I mean, it happens. I'm going to swing 6 with the Cavendish. Finally removed that Mont Blanc Norland, starting to clear up some board here. And it looks like this might be the turning point for the Bonney strategist. And going to end up clearing that Kalgara. So the Bonney deck, you just got to find the perfect time to play that Captain Kidd, and then you can like sort of stabilize going forward. Our opponent only has 3 cards in hand with their draw for turn. Huge here for the Bonney player. So Bonney has played this pretty well. I think there was a couple times you could have get another card, even have less cards in hand if you would have tapped that Bonney blocker. Because like, what did it do last turn? Nothing. And now it's just going to get popped. So I think we could have utilized that a little bit more. Got that, maybe even got that Zeus out of hand before he could play it. But he is going to end up playing the Zeus. Doesn't, okay, it takes a life, goes down to 5 life, KO the Bonney blocker. Go back up to 3 cards in hand. And obviously the second Kuma is going to get tapped by the leader abilities. So we're going to see what they swing here. Looks like they put 5 under and swing 12 into 8. No blocker on the field. How much Dawn left? 3. I'm going to tap the other Kuma, of course. So they can't swing 10. They can only swing 8 with their leader. Into the Kid, if we do end up countering out of this. Going to need a 2-2-1. Tashigi, X-Drake, and Beji blocker. Going to keep that Corazon in hand so that we can play it next turn and protect our Kid. And the Kalgara is just going to pass, not going to try and get another counter out of hand. Fair enough. Now the real question I think here becomes whether you swing into the Kuma. Probably not. Maybe one of them you'll swing into just to keep them at 1 attack next turn rather than 2. Because our hand is getting a little low, especially after having to give up 2-2-1 on this previous turn. Opponent is holding up 3 Dawn for their counter events. And the tides have turned, I think. I don't think Kalgara is looking too great in this spot. I think they probably should have went a little bit harder at face if they could have. But the Bonney player did play very well in terms of protecting that last life. So they could set up for the Kid, stall until they draw the Kid, and then set up for it. Looks like here they're going to swing 7. They have a pretty much infinite Dawn to work with here. They can play out this Corazon, swing with the Cavendish, get the 2 Dawn back for free. So it's just a matter of how they want to swing out with the rest of their Dawn. Trying to play around triggers so that their Corazon doesn't get KO'd here by any crazy life triggers. Going to swing 9 at life. They're going to take it. Bonney player just debating on what they could get punished by here. Fair enough. I'm not exactly sure what the triggers in the Kalgara deck are either. So I would be afraid as well, just slamming the Corazon. If I can't, guarantee keep it safe from a trigger KO. Gonna go 11 at life with the Doflamingo. Gonna take it. So he's deciding not to kill the Kuma. Fair enough. Finally gonna end up playing this Corazon. Beautiful alt art. And then gonna go 9, restain the 2 Dawn. So that they can still go 12, I guess. 9K is going to be met with a plus 3,000 event and then a 2K counter. And then just going to go 11. Fair enough. I think he's going to take it whether it's 11 or 12. Hold up 2 Dawn. Bluff that 1 in case, something crazy happens, I guess. I'm going to restain all the characters here, but going to have to fight through a Kid and a Corazon blocker. A lot of people have been cutting the Captain Kidd in the Bonney strategy, but I think that is an absolute mistake personally. I mean, look, the Bonney player is so much more calm now than he was early game because he knows that it's just going to be pretty much impossible for the Kalgara to clear it, in my opinion, with just what is on board. Down to 1 life from 6, from really 10 or 11 because he started with 5, went back up 5. I honestly, I don't know how many life he gained. He played 2 Kuma too, so he technically had 9 life this game. Gonna start with a Kuma into the Kid. Gonna tap the other Kuma. Gonna swing 10 into 8. Decide if he wants to give up the Corazon or the 2-drop 2K 2K. So he gives up 2K 2K here. Could have been 2K 1K, but he must not want to give up any 1Ks or just doesn't have any. Now just going to go 8 to 8 here. Going to give up the Corazon, showing that he has no counter in hand left over. But it looks like it's not going to really matter. He's just going to need to survive the next turn with these 4 Dawn. Probably keeping up Forge or try and play around Hody as best as possible. Who knows if he actually has plus like 4 actual counter events in hand. Gonna start 7 here. Gonna tap 1 for the plus 3000. That's a free counter. And gonna tap 7 for Hody Jones. Tap 2 Dawn. And it looks like this is just gonna be the end of the game. 7 with Cavendish. Restand 2. Get a 2-1. 3 cards in hand. Gonna go 8 to life. 9 to life. And gonna get 2, 1, 1, 1, and then a 10 will seal the deal. So as good as Kalgara's start was that game, Captain Kidd just saves the Bonney deck from that super aggro rush early. That's why I think you need to play that card, honestly, over the 9-drop Zoro. Like, what is 9-drop Zoro doing there? Absolutely nothing. It does nothing on play. I hate that card. But the Captain Kidd saving the day from, and I've told my buddies this who are trying to get me off the Kidd, you know, Kidd wins you the rogue matchups. What happens whenever you go round 1 and you play against Kalgara? You know what I mean? Like, what happens? What happens when you go round 1 in a regional, a 10-round regional, and you play against, you know, Vegapunk or something, or GP Luffy or something? Like, you're going to win those matchups because you play the Kidd. Plus, not only that, later in the rounds, Kidd is just a gross card. He just wins certain game states against Rayleigh. He wins certain simplified game states against Zoro, and even UP Luffy sometimes. Not all the time against UP Luffy. You'd rather have like your Dofis and your Shanks, but I mean, Captain Kidd is a crazy strong card. I think that goes without saying. And it won this game, obviously. But that's it for round 1 of the Seville Regional. We're going to end up going into round 2 here shortly, and hopefully a video posted soon on round 2. So make sure to subscribe to Plastic Beach X3 for more One Piece videos. GG's to those guys, and peace out.